Hey, hubby, what you doing?
Oh, hi. Howdy. Just sewing the loops onto the belts here in the 3D system, and then gonna start sewing the holsters together here. I do one unit at a time, so that way it stays in consistency of each person that orders it. Just got a whip around the end here. It's a lot to think about when you're stitching stuff together, and try to keep everything in tune, lined up, and hope that you don't run out of bobbin or thread. I'm getting a little low on my thread here, so I might be running out here pretty soon. But yeah, just something that happens when you're sewing. So I do my back stitch here to lock it, and then that's done. Pull this out, little trim up here. After everything's said and done, I'll tap this down with a hammer, all the stitching, and then I'll go ahead and put some more wax on there and some finish, make it finished off and everything. But that's the belt right there, stitched on with the 3D loop. See the Chicago screws there we have there, so you can take it off and put conchos on if you want. We'll put the buckles on and everything when we do the final stuff. The next phase is, you remember I had gorged out the line for the thread here and pre-did some holes, and these are broken needles here I use. Recycle lots of stuff. I'll set this belt loop unit up and get that started. Once you get that together, then we start to put the actual front end of the holster on. It's a fairly quick process. Not a lot of thought to have to go into it. Just paying attention to what's going on and making sure nothing binds, because when it binds, you usually end up breaking a needle 9 times out of 10. Trying to line everything up. Short process. There's pros and cons. As you can tell, I'm trying to find things to talk about because it's mainly just stitching. Making sure that you trim off the excess before you get to it, so you have a nice neat stitch at the back as well. Fall along the lines there, so that way the stitch falls within that gouged out section. And looks like I'm getting near the end of my thread here. You see it already came off the bobbin there. I just move forward a little bit, do my lock stitch, and my trim. Since there's still a little bit left on there, we'll go ahead and just get the next part started, just so it seals in. Actually, I think there's too short of a piece, so we're just going to have to change the thread. So why don't you take a quick break? It's probably going to take me about 10 minutes or so to rethread this and prep everything and make sure the bobbin's good. And okay, I'm back. As you can see, I have a new thread bobbin on there and new thread bobbin inside, and I should say spool up here and bobbin in there for you techie guys. I don't know the exact wording. Coming to the end down here on this side, and lock stitch it in, set it up. Goes pretty fast and easy, as I said before. Trim everything off. Always like to keep it trimmed down and looking good. So this next phase here is a little bit more critical. Get it in position and line it up. I've got little marks on the back plate that tell me exactly where where I stand and where things have to go. So it's reference marks. You can see here, I try to follow my groove line the best I can. To line everything up, make sure everything's in perfect order. And I have the groove on the back part. Come close here. See the groove on the back part here, the back plate, and the groove on the front. And I have just slightly offset. Sometimes they're a little more than others, but just follow straight on down. And if you notice back here, this is my extra piece that I place in, so that way when you have the lever in position, the lever locks in behind in here and keeps it held in position that way. I have it pre-glued in with contact cement, so it's where it needs to be. And I will stitch up to a certain point with the machine, which works really well. And even though it's a very heavy-duty stitcher, I like to do the last little bit by hand. Reason being, if there's going to be an area on this holster that's going to break down the stitching, and it's most vital, it'll be in this area here, because the back of the lever touches in this area all the time when you're putting the gun in and out of the holster. So I like to do that little extra touch. If you look on my other holsters that I make, when we do a video series on those, hopefully sometime here in the future, you'll notice that I'll do some machine stitching to a point, but when it actually comes to the assembly of the holster, I like to put it together by hand, because it just gives a better appearance, and it also is a lot more durable in the bush for that. So I will come up into a point here, and I will lock it in place with a couple of stitches. And once it's locked in with a couple of stitches, I will then stop, put it up, turn my noisy machine off, and that squeaky you've been hearing the whole time is because my pedals have a squeak to them. It doesn't matter how much oil and lubricate them, for some reason the bushings just like to make lots of noise. So I will pull this out as far as I can to make sure there's enough thread here that I can use it so that I can hand stitch it back in and out. I'll cut holes into here and I'll hand stitch it back and forth, up and back down again, so that it secures it in position. So concludes today, as much as I want to talk to you about. I hope you'll come for our last segment, and I hope that somebody will make some comments, either about what we're doing, ask some questions, or very most important is give us some ideas of other stuff you'd like to see us do. Another series, making a knife sheath, or making a pouch, or shooting bag, or something along that line. We'd be more than happy to try to come up with another video series after this ends, after the next one. So, take care. If you want more of this, subscribe to our channel. And please go check out beavermountainworks.com. Look at our products, and we'd really love it if you sign up for our newsletter. Take care.